All right. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Power Chat series. I hope everyone's having a great day right in the middle of lunchtime. So be sure to watch this great show with our guest, Alexa Fleshman. And she is the winner of the women's open weight and all weight fighting division at the Memphis Open. And I can't wait to talk to you a little bit more, Alexa, about your experience at the event. So, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good for the most part. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Beautiful day outside after a bunch of rain. Where are you right now?
I live in Charlottesville, well, right outside of Charlottesville, Virginia, so kind of central.
All right, so we're pretty close. For everybody watching, put in the comment section where you're watching from and how it's going. I know Alex is based out of Florida, but he's right here in North Carolina where I am right now. But yeah, so I want to talk more about the Memphis Open. It was an amazing event that happened February 27th that you got to go to, which you ended up winning the event. So tell me, how did it go for you? What was your experience personally?
It was fun. It was my first, I guess, event back, and first in women's. It was a lot of people. It was more than I was expecting to be, just because of COVID. They
Mhm.
kind of sectioned us off in I guess like groups of spectators, so everybody had a different colored wristband for their time that they were supposed to actually be in there.
Okay.
So there was supposed to be only like a certain amount of people, and they were really good at like keeping um kind of keeping control of that. Um, it was definitely smaller just because there wasn't as many competitors as a normal tournament would have.
Mhm.
So there was about five rings in one room, and then another ring in a different room, and everybody had good energy. Everybody was talking to everybody. Everybody was just normal tournament. Everything was back to normal. Honestly, it was
Yeah,
pretty fun.
Joey
All the
Perry, the promoter actually of it, I saw a Facebook post that said this was the largest turnout in the event's history, which is
Yeah,
crazy to think about. We're given that we're in a pandemic, but they've instituted these precautions, like you said, like the wristbands or the groups of competitors and spectators. So did you feel safe at the event?
yeah. I mean, everywhere you looked, everybody had a mask on. Competitors were the only people that didn't have mask on while they're competing or warming up, but they were also behind the tables, away from everybody else.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you had to have it on in the lobby and walking around the hallways, going to your room, anything. So there was really no, like, I guess. And there still are risks, of course, but it
Mhm.
definitely wasn't what a lot of people, I'm assuming, would be afraid of nobody having a mask on and people just running around and
Right.
screaming their head off. But it was definitely, I think, very safe and a good way to control it.
That's good. Yeah, I think as things go back to normal and as tournaments are continuing to pop up on the agenda, you're going to see more people, but also those precautions taken, which is really nice to see that it's not, while I say it's going back to normal, there are adjustments that are being made that each promoter, especially the ProMac circuit, is making to make sure that that's there. So, is this your first ProMac event that you've gone to?
Yeah, very first.
Okay, and thoughts on that because they have their own philosophy and mission, sort of to sort of standardize things and make sure judging specific experiences with the judging and fighting. What were your thoughts?
Everything looked very professional. Like all the judges were, wearing the same thing, or they all kind of stayed where they're supposed to be. It's definitely, I was talking to some people about it before I went, and it is like a smaller scale NASCA, like how they run the rules and just the rings and assignments and everything. Some of the people that compete in NASCA were there,
Mm-hmm.
so it definitely felt like you know a good circuit to be in for anybody, locals, for anybody even competing, seasoned veterans, and just anything. So it was a good tournament, I think, and it was a fun league. I wanted to go to North Georgia Open. I wanted that one to be my first one, but I couldn't work that one out. So I'm glad that Memphis was, because I enjoyed it.
Good. And what a debut. So you did have competition. There was 6 and 4 people in in 6 and 4 women in your divisions, and your first tournament back since 2018. You won. looking forward, given your positive experience at the Memphis Open, do you anticipate competing at other events in the future?
I do. I know there'll be one soon. I'm hopefully going to. I took off work for it. I just got to make sure that my schedule kind of pans out. Other than that, I hope that I can go to the NASCA ones in the summer if they do
Mhm.
keep them on schedule and they don't push them back anymore.
Right.
Definitely trying to go to those. So hopefully.
I'd love to know for everybody watching if you could leave comments like what are your thoughts on the next tournaments? What are the next tournament that you're going to be at? Because as you can see, you have people in this picture, Danny Etkin as well, like you said, seasoned veterans coming in, going to these tournaments. He also did a seminar, a virtual seminar for the event. But yeah, so for everybody watching, when do you anticipate going to in-person events, and what is the next one on your schedule? So Alexa, I know that you trained before this, getting in both physical conditioning and also fighting. So I was wondering more specifically what your daily routine, not, I don't want to say daily, what, because you might not train daily because I know you have a job, but like what your routine working out and preparing for an event is.
Really December and January I was really focusing on like just building up more like physical strength. So I was in the gym probably 3-4 days a week, nights, whatever it was I can get in. And then with Sean and Gina and Roanoke, I now live 2.5 hours away from them instead of
Mhm.
just the 1 hour I used to live.
Mhm.
So when I get either a Friday or Sunday off, or one of those 2 days or both, I always drive down there, no matter like how crazy my week is. I'm always there. I love training with them. They're like family, so
Mhm.
I'm always gonna go take whatever drive to get there. Um, I know probably January I did about 5 or 6 sessions with them, just to kind of get ready because I was thinking about doing North Georgia
Mhm.
Open. I wanted to make sure I was ready for that one. That didn't fall through, so I wound up just keep going as much as I could,
Mhm.
working out, trying to keep up with the gym and work and everything, and that's about it. Lately, I haven't been in the gym as much just because of work and just personal things. So hopefully, I'll get back into that, get my physical strength and weight back up. So that's pretty much it.
So you said Sean and Gina, they're amazing people, and they're just one of the few souls who are just so nice and always there and so supportive, regardless of who you are. I remember I fought Gina at the New England Open, and it was when I first began the adult division, and it was a privilege to fight her. And afterwards, she goes, "You hit hard. I like that." So she really loves, a good fight. I was wondering, what's it like getting to train with such a great fighter and a great coach like Sean and Gina?
Well, I've been training with them for going on 6 years now. After my first tournament, sorry, my niece. After my first tournament, in 2014, maybe 2015, I kind of met her. It was kind of not against my will, but I'm very nervous and shy around new people. So my
Mhm.
teammates brought her over to meet me, and we talked. That was my first tournament. My second one, they asked me if I wanted to come train with their girls because they needed new people to kind of keep the dynamic going. And ever since then, I've been literally when I was still living back in my hometown of Lynchburg. It was only an hour away. I would be there Friday and Sunday,
Mhm.
and then sometimes Saturdays or a Thursday before a tournament or a Wednesday if I needed it. Like I was always there, always loved it. Extra hours, extra minutes there. Wound up staying with them sometimes, traveling with them. It became a family. Like Gina, honestly, is like a big sister to me, and Sean definitely can see him as a father figure. He's definitely taught me a lot and kind of guided me along a lot of roads that I needed a lot of help on. But they're just two people that like I'll never have, I guess, that connection with somebody else
Mhm.
with. They definitely took me under their wing, and they've been there through a lot of rough patches with me, and they've definitely supported me and kept doing it. So love them to death.
That's great. What would you say is the thing that keeps you motivated, that keeps you sustained in the martial arts?
Traveling, that's probably my favorite part, is the traveling.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a traveler. Any other sports I've done, it was just my favorite part to kind of just hit the road and go.
Yeah.
Um, Also a perfectionist. I'm very competitive, very hard on myself, which in some ways it kind of helps me keep going.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, after some of my fights in Memphis, I was like mad at myself, even though I did win and I did good. I was still kind of like frustrated with myself. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that kind of fuels the fire for me to keep going and for me to do better or train harder. So, I honestly think it's just a mix of everything about the competitive side of it for me. The
So,
push and the,
right. So even though you won, you came back and you saw things that you could improve on. What specifically, what do you like look at the tape, or do you just feel it after, like, oh, I gave up this silly point? What is it that what goes through your mind even after a win that makes you feel like, I could have done better?
it was one of my fights where like literally afterwards, I think like I like dropped my gloves, like I just put them down. It wasn't like a like a sore loser moment or anything like that, but it was just kind of like frustration with myself because what I've worked on in practice, like sometimes for me, like I'm a
Mm-hmm.
very anxious person, and especially in the ring, it gets really bad. So it takes a lot to kind of control that for myself. And after that one fight, I just kind of felt it like that I was way too anxious, and it was kind of hard because like the practice right before I left
Mm-hmm.
kind of had a little like rough spot at the end, had little tears coming out because I was so frustrated with myself. So
Okay.
like things like that where it's just you could get that one point, or you could have gone when you wanted to, you could have if you saw it, why didn't you go, stuff like that. And hearing Sean and Dina yell at me all the time, like kind of used to it by now, most definitely, but it's still like I don't know, a lot of inner turmoil where you want to do
Mm-hmm.
it but your body says no.
Right.
Watching the fights, I usually send my fights to Canal or Mr. Lovelace or Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes both of them. So usually they'll give me a little feedback here and there, and then me and Master Elliot will work on it at practice. So
Right.
that usually helps the aftermath of the anxiety and frustration behind it. So
That's so interesting that you mention like the anxiety that you feel, because I feel like too little in general is mental health talked about in sports, let alone in martial arts. Maybe because it's less populated, but I doubt that's the case. What are your thoughts, on the intersection of mental health and martial arts? And is it talked about enough? What can we be doing to better address it?
it's definitely not talked about enough. I'd probably say only my closest inner circle really like knows, I guess, me. I guess that's what everybody would say. Their closest knows you the best.
Mm-hmm.
But as somebody who's definitely struggled with multiple, mental health issues and, certain things that I deal with every day for the past few years, definitely from my standpoint, it could be talked about more. I'm sure if you see me, at a tournament, you probably think either I'm intimidating or I'm talking way too much and I'm crazy and hyper and this and that. I'm a whole lot different, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other young girls and boys or
Mm-hmm.
anybody out there who deals with it and kind of puts up this front for everybody else when they really shouldn't have to. They should be able to talk about it and
Yeah.
kind of express how they actually feel without
Mm-hmm.
feeling like they're somebody completely different to a whole different world. Um, I definitely think I went through a very rough patch my senior year. That's actually why I left karate. I
Mm-hmm.
was pulled out of school for 8 weeks. Um, Went through a huge, I guess they would call it a crisis. Had a lot of help and a big support group, and it gets to a point where all you want to do is talk about it and reach out and kind of tell your story. But a lot of people are scared too.
Right.
I definitely think there's ways that martial arts can, I guess, promote that
Mm-hmm.
or help kids feel more comfortable talking about it. I mean, I see all these challenges, the little drop 20, give me 20 for this cause or this and that. I feel like there's definitely a lot of fun ways that we
Mm-hmm.
can pull that out of kids, especially. to talk about it and feel more open to it.
Yeah. Thank you for being so vulnerable, especially on a live and with me. So I appreciate that. And just your suggestions on fun and creative ways, especially because of the age range that martial arts brings. It brings in kids from like 5 to 50 and beyond.
Yeah.
So there's great opportunity to be able to have these conversations, be it on Facebook Live, in the karate school, um, and making sure that martial arts isn't falling behind in addressing mental health issues with the martial arts.
Um, I think I don't know for the kids. Like I know Jesse Ray did the little dance TikTok challenge. I know TikTok's popping off and popular. Definitely, I would assume it would be easier for kids and young adults to not turn it into humor, but turn it into something light and bubbly that they
Mm-hmm.
can kind of just share with somebody. Like even if it's just a "How are you doing today?" video, and you say something about karate, or you do a whole kata or something. I definitely think there's ways that kids would be more, I guess, okay with saying how they feel, maybe in a dojo around their instructors or around their other kids, or having a whole class say it in front of a camera, or
Mm-hmm.
doing little surveys here and there, or posts where they can comment, or just safe spaces.
Nice.
Definitely think there's social media reach would definitely help for the kids, to
Mm-hmm.
kind of talk about it more. I know most of my friends back in the day, like I don't think I ever told them what was going on with me until after I left.
Right.
So I definitely think it's better to do it now or find groups that the kids feel comfortable with before it gets to a bad point.
Right. Creating those safe spaces. And that can be in the karate school. It doesn't have to be a place where everyone is yelling and screaming and doing forms and fighting. It can be a place of vulnerability.
It can. I think separate classes could also help, or just a blocked off period during a class like schedule for certain schools, like
Mm-hmm.
for schools that know that they deal with a lot of teens in high school, or
Mm-hmm.
especially kids who are affected by the COVID situation.
Right.
I definitely think that a lot of kids cling to these locations and sports buildings and their teams that they have for kind of support and honestly a way to escape.
Right.
So if they just have that set time where they could sit down and really talk
Mm-hmm.
with somebody about it and a group of them, that would probably I feel like that would definitely help because I wish I had that.
Yeah, no, it's great to hear feedback about ways to improve the sport, because it just the karate school is such a great way, and people come start karate early on for so many different reasons, and it can cater to the needs, especially you mentioned such an important thing, the COVID pandemic, online learning. It's taken a toll. Whether you think kids should go back to school in person or not, it doesn't change the fact that we're behind a screen for so long, and these kids haven't been able to talk to their friends in person and things like that. So it's really refreshing to hear your perspective and your connection to martial arts. And you do talk about, you have so many great suggestions. I was wondering, my last question for you is, your role as a teacher. You are a competitor, but I was wondering, as a mentor role, have you taken on anything like that?
So actually my very first job, I was 14 and a half. I was a gymnastics coach. I did gymnastics for about 6 years. So I taught kids all the way from 4 to 13. Loved
Okay,
them to death.
that's a big.
Yeah, I had different classes. My not supposed to pick favorites, but my favorite class was my preteam, and it started at 4. I had a girl who's 4 who turned 5, and the oldest one was 9. And I did other classes. When I was at my home karate school back in Lynchburg, I would teach like the Saturday sparring class or the Tuesday night sparring class if my home coach couldn't make it. Um, and then once I kind of left or started training with Sean Moore, Master Elliot Moore, and Gina Moore, then I would go back home and they would ask me if I wanted to do seminars or can you teach this seminar? Can you come and just show up or support? So that was always fun. I enjoyed teaching the seminars. Those were probably honestly like the funnest classes I ever did at my home school.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely love kids. I mean, my niece is
So
literally
you
on the
have a little
bed
girl
with her iPad.
right behind you.
Yeah, she's she's over there chilling. But I love kids. I think they're definitely just something light and bubbly in this world that shouldn't go away. Something shouldn't happen to them to make them change that young. Um, I love it. I mean, it was definitely fun. I've asked to do more. I don't know when I'm gonna get to do more.
Seminars you're talking about,
But
right?
usually at the end, I always like ask like, did you enjoy it? Like, what do you want to work on next time? Some of the kids, I've had some kids, get upset. We've had to take breaks and sit them out and this and that. But I don't know. I can't see it as a career, but as a come back and do it when somebody asks me to, or if I want to and volunteer. I definitely enjoy it. I don't know what I'm gonna do for my career yet, but
And you don't need to. You just don't need to have that all figured out, your life plan, especially given the circumstances right now. So, well, yes, Alexa, thank you so much. Congratulations on your event, your debut event, and I'm excited to see all the places that you go next because I know how much you love to travel and the competition aspect of it. And again, thank you for coming on to the Power Chat series. All right, and for everybody watching, thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your way. All right, see you.